Alright, what's up, yins, guys? Time for another video. And I got a bunch of different points. I was not sure right now which points that I should bring up first in approaching this. This is the kind of shit I make fun of that you see indicated in YouTube videos and sometimes news clips, but all over social media, and you see it in your own backyard. And this, I'm not necessarily bashing anybody's music, but there's some shit that's so fucking obvious. And I know it's just young kids that they get over it and they outgrow it. But I'm just saying there's an aspect of when I bring up the white leftist pseudo gangsta beta male. And first, that I'm going to start with that. How that particular beta male, they think everybody is racist but them. And even though they drive around in their bubble in their mother's car and live in their mother's house, the car is an extension of the bubble that makes them feel badass. They're the kind of person that they think they can get the so-called gangsta after you. They act like they're in with the gangsta, in with the gangstas and all that, and live in a big charade. And the bottom line, the most important thing, what I want to say out there is they'll drive around playing shitty rap music and with their pretend little fairy tale, and they do not accept classic black music, the good old soul, the good old R&B, and the good old stuff that where black people invented rock and roll before we had Elvis and Buddy Holly. They do not accept classic R&B, classic black music in any way, shape, or form, because they have a what is that? I have a bunch of names for it, which I can make a whole complete video about, laugh about. Kind of like what the one YouTube video about the Antifa, the white Antifa kid who called a black cop an Uncle Tom piece of shit. Yeah, but yeah, what I want before people try to say the convenience, you're a racist bullshit, is that's what I would point out right off the bat, you know, and to debunk the convenience. You're a racist. And, but yeah, they get to tell you, you know, they try to tell you what kind of black music you can and can't listen to, and being repetitive, but they don't. Most of them don't accept classic black music from black people from back in the day that really could play instruments. You know what I mean? That's part of their degeneracy and their ignorance and their their willful ignorance, and just which leads to their physical and psychological degeneracy. And you know what? This would be fun if I was able to put more into this video and put some kind of weird wig on, like the YouTuber Awaken with JP. He has long blonde hair and I'm a little balder, but say if I were to do a little skit or get a couple people involved in it. But I don't got the resources. I don't got the resources or patience for that, but I think it would be fun to do someday, to add what I talk about here. But yeah, not to talk about anybody's music, it's just kids with different phases. And oh yeah, and if it's of any consolation, I'll say right off the bat that yeah, the kids with their screamer rocker, their progressive rocker, gone woke too, and you got those there. So I'll make fun of things equally, you know what I mean? And a lot of us, we got friends and we worked in places that are black. But for one, anyway, so not that anybody pulls that racial shit on me or whatever. They can say whatever the fuck they want. But anyway, how you differentiate the gangster, or the gangster, you know, you see on TV that they all wind up in prison shooting each other. Then you got the pseudo gangster that actually, if they met a real gangster, if they don't even have the balls to join a gang, they wouldn't last. The pseudo gangster both white and black kids, or some are white leftists and all that, that they pretend, and certain neighborhoods that are more docile, they try to convince that they're gangsters or just a bunch of kids, they outgrow the shit. Well, some of them, you fracture their ego, they'll do some stupid shit, get themselves in trouble or whatever. But yeah, you got the pseudo gangster that's a hierarchy in the town, you know, that might actually do something with a bunch of their friends. You know, a lot of the time it's a bunch of white kids, for example, you know what I mean? But then I'll have playing in my head the clip, sarcastic clip from Family Guy. Remember that when Rush Limbaugh was in there and cartoon and Brian the dog, and there's a bunch of kids with black and white, and Brian the dog's out there walking in the street, and he goes, oh my God, it's a multiracial gang with white people in it. And then the gang is going, yeah, there, let's go beat him up. But not because of his race, because that doesn't matter to us. And then Rush Limbaugh, the great martial artist, saves his life. And Brian says, okay, I'll read a couple pages of your book. But anyway, yeah, the pseudo gangster. But yeah, I'll break it down. Forget the actual gangsters you see on the news that heavy duty, they really kill each other. You got the pseudo gangsters in the town that, yeah, they got a bunch of their buddies and they do stupid shit and been in jail for stupid shit, right? And then them the pseudo gangsters, you know, like drive around in a car, rap music, and then act like everybody's supposed to be scared of it. But then the pseudo gangster beta male will drive around in a car. The difference between the pseudo gangster beta male driving in a car with rap music and the pseudo gangster is a pseudo gangster beta male. He's driving around in the car, which is also the car is his mobile safe space. See, it's an extension of a room in his mother's house with a computer. You know, when he actually goes outside, he only feels badass, and it's a fantasy. And yeah, that's to actually be able to be a pseudo gangster beta male, you have to have a car, and you have to have a car playing some kind of bandwagon rap music to announce your. You're not unlike the pseudo gangster where you're announcing your pseudo gangsterness. If you're the pseudo gangster beta male, you're not acting like you're a gangster, but you're driving around in rap music, announcing that you're in with the pseudo gangsters, or with he calls the gangsters. And unlike the pseudo gangsters that you might, with a bunch of their buddies, whether you're paying too much attention to them or not paying any attention at all, and they get offended. They get a bunch of their buddies, you know, and some of them carry fake guns or pellet guns, and occasionally one of them goes to jail for the rest of his life shooting somebody because he got to prove himself to his friends, and you see that on the news all the time, you know what I mean? But yeah, whether it's, you're not picking on anybody because of their race, but yeah, you got the white dude in a car with tattoos and thinks he's badass because he got Eminem blasting in his car, but the pseudo gangster beta male will put his shit in there. When he plays that music and he has to have a car, you have to have a car. That he wants you to be afraid of him because he's announcing, when he's playing the rap music, he's announcing that he's in with the pseudo gangsters, which he wants you to believe are gangsters. Unlike the pseudo gangster that he wants you to believe is a gangster, he won't get physical. He's one of the ones, oh yeah, I'm in with the gangsters that we call pseudo gangsters, and I'll get the ones that he wants you to believe are gangsters, he'll get them after you, see. He'll never get physical. He might get in your face, get an argument with some stupid shit. In a lot of cases, if you won't even get you won't get any arguments whatsoever. Say if you're doing your own thing, you get into a conversation or have to work next to some of them that if they hold a job, or if you did jobs next to them on assignment that they bitch about the job or whatever. But yeah, if you don't get any arguments with them, be anywhere near them and get any political arguments of any kind, you don't gotta worry. But they always, the beta males of the type of that category. Yeah, I'm trying not to laugh when I say it. The beta males in that category are always the ones that'll never get physical, and kind of get in your face, and they're the real whiny, wimpy. A lot of times look like they're avoiding muscle development, and they indicate nobody is allowed to have a gun, but they're pseudo gangster buddies. And guns are always a problem of some, right wing, and I always say there's extreme right wing. Don't get me wrong, I also not sticking up for right wing. There's an extreme right wing that I always say that doesn't like me and doesn't like the YouTuber Sticks Hexenhammer or 666 or any other long-haired YouTuber that look like myself or bald. Not that I'm sticking up for every single one on the right, but they think that nobody on the left wing or anybody that they say is left wing is allowed to have a gun, but their pseudo-gangster buddies are allowed to have a gun. And also, they don't like the police. Oh, they don't care if the police do any brutality against you. As a matter of fact, they'll get their buddies to mass report you to the police or whatever. But they don't really like the police themselves. Oh yeah, police brutality, yada yada. Down with, they always the fist in the air, following along, fist in the air, protest. When they put their fist in the air, they mean down with the police and death with the police, and power to Mr. King of the Streets, which is, by the way, is allowed to commit the same brutality they accuse the police of. But if they do, their pseudo-gangster buddies that they want to do away with the police and replace the police with, they believe that these people should replace the police and be allowed to commit whatever brutality they want against you. But when the police do it to their people, it's wrong. But the police do it to you if they want to try to get the police to do it to you and mass report you or whatever. It's totally okay. But yeah, do away with the police, and they want to replace the police with Mr. King of the Streets and his pals, which if you offend them, they'll get their Mr. King of the Streets and his pals to do the same brutality, and they're allowed to have guns. But it's okay when they do it, but not when the police do it, you know what I mean? That's their philosophy, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're against guns, but yeah, they're people that sell them their drugs, and everything. It's all different. They're allowed to have guns. It's all in whatever ruling party that you choose to rule over you, you know what I mean? They claim they don't want to be ruled by, no police state or whatever, but they want to be ruled by like some kind of narco-communist state or whatever, or anarchist state or whatever, or some kind of neo-communist type thing. Yeah, they don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to take orders. But yet they want to give everybody else orders, and they want to recruit their own enforcing class. They hate the police. And once again, but have no problem with trying to find a reason to anonymously mass report you to the police as a smoke screen for their friends and their shit. But other than that, they don't really like the police. You know, I mean, I'm being repetitive, I know, but yeah, it's all like hypocrisy. You know what I mean? They don't like brutality of police, but yet they want an enforcing class, just not the police, and they want. Yeah, they're not against brutality per se, like they say they are. They actually approve certain brutality against the people they don't like. You know what I mean? That's the kind. And like I said, but when I talk about the pseudo gangster beta male, like he says, like I said, the pseudo gangster beta male, not a gangster, he approves of everything I said. He don't want to do it. He wants an enforcing class, Mr. King of the Streets, to do it, and not the police. But he's the one who'll drive on rap music. You can tell by their stature, or when they're driving in the cars. You know what I mean? They don't even try to look real tough looking. They have this different kind of cocky look on their face. They kind of want to look tough. But when they drive around in rap music, it's not, oh, I'm a gangster, you better be afraid of me. Their whole way they wear their hair, their whole stature and everything, it's like they play the rap music with some kind of nonchalant cockiness, kind of like they're being tough, but not like they're being tough. They think they're tough because they want you to believe that they're in with some kind of gangsta element, that they can get after you. Like, it all shows in, if you get into conversations or arguments with them, or if they're a bunch of their buddies of their same kind heckle you, you know what I mean? And any kind of muscle development or practice of improving strength or bettering oneself is offensive to them. But yet, Mr. King of the Streets, black or white, with steroids and everything like that, they're enforcing class. They approve of that, see? But when you do anything, you have any muscle development and whatsoever, or you're walking around too proud of yourself because you can pick 5 or 10 pounds with a smile on your face, then you're automatically presumed to be a patriot, or maybe a white nationalist, or some kind of whatever the hell they want to call you, even though you don't have a single Nazi tattoo on you or whatever. It's just what they'll call you as a convenience, pretty much, because you know what I mean. And they get to decide who they don't. They not only want to decide who is allowed to have a gun, claim to be against guns, but they want to tell you who can and can't have a gun, and they also want to indicate to you, they got names for you, and tell you who can and can't have any kind of any degree of muscle development, or because you have any kind of muscle development or train any kind of way. If you walk around with even a cocky look on your face down the street, not paying any attention to them, yep, you're automatically some kind of patriot, Nazi, different shit like that. And meanwhile, they live in mom and dad's house, and they'll go around with rap music in a car. But like I said like I said earlier in this video, their car is just a bubble. You see, it's an extension of their room inside their parents' house, because they're driving their parents' car, listening to shitty rap music, and they don't accept classic black R&B and stuff that rock and roll came from in any way, shape, or form. They think that's old. They think it's oppressive, and any of the older black musicians that can really play, that's old black people's music. That's for what do you call Uncle Tom, like the Antifa kids say. Anybody that's black that doesn't believe their way is an Uncle Tom piece of shit, like I seen in a YouTube video, But yeah, that's what I should have said earlier in this video, which was a very important thing. They do not accept classic R&B, classic black music that was real music whatsoever. It's got to be the shitty rap shit, and their car is just an extension of the bubble that's their parents' house, and they drive their parents' car. The car is their safe space. They can't pretend to be a badass without a car. It's the very important thing for them to have a car, which will be their parents' car, and they're living in their parents' house. Some of them grow up and mature and have life experience, and some don't. You know what I mean? But yeah, they when they finally get old enough and possibly grow up, you know what I mean, and lose the fairy tale or whatever. When they hopefully get an income of their own, while they still know everything, you know what I mean. But that's it.